So we're right here on page Daled. So it's a bechinas mitzvahs hanafas ha'omer sa'orim. Ha'omer sa'orim. The sphere sa'omer b'shem haschala v'chachana b'kabbalah satorah. So giving a little background here. Ki mavur b'ksavim shebekol yemei ha'sfira mekablim kol hamochin dekatas v'gadlus rishon sheni b'chadroga b'mida u'b'mida b'kol yom v'yom. Hakavod v'hedev sham ein sham begam mekablim kol hachamisha chasadev v'chamisha gavuros v'kol sechem shehem bebechinas shiva shiva mekablim masacha b'shiva shavua shel hasfira. Hakavod sham shebekol yom v'yom meir malchus dezer anpen every day. The malchus dezer anpen shines. The malchus the nukva. Now, she's to talk about the Malchus of Zer Anpin, he must be talking about the Torah Yisod of Zer Anpin. And then it shines into, it connects to, the Malchus of the Nukva Kagom Biyom Rishon Niknas Malchus Shebechesed Rishon, the first day, comes the first Malchus comes from first. And it goes into its Chesed, Shalom. V'chein Niknas Malchus Gevura Rishon, Bechesed Shalom, in its Chesed. Umeir Malchus Shalom b'Malchus Shalom, and so the two different Malchusim, I'm not sure that I understood that exactly, but it's a very vague area for me anyway. The Bechesed Shalom, Umeir Malchus Shalom b'Malchus Shalom, so the two Malchios shine into each other. V'yom Sheni Niknas Yisod Shebechesed, the Yisod comes in. Shebechesed Rishon, that is from the first Chesed. Bechesed Shalom in its Chesed. V'nidche bechinas malchus, that malchus that was there begevura Shalom. V'chein benukva, also with the nukva. So now he's explaining the drawings that we see in the Rishash. How it really coming in, it's really talking about malchus coming in, even though it shows us, for example, the first day is going to be all Chesed, but it's really going into the first Chesed, and it's really the malchus going there. So he said, the malchus shenitcha begevura shalom, the malchus sheniknas begevura, by the malchus that entered into the gevura shalom. V'chein b'chol yom v'yom, same thing every day. Nemsa ta'ayin heite begevonis. So if you really look carefully at the gevonos, which we look at to some extent, Pirush she'igar hatikun b'kol yom hu bebechinas malchus. Every day the tikun is taking place in malchus. Shebekol midah of every one of those midos. Ayin shon, the midos meaning the chesed gevurah teferes netzachod yisod, the chag at 9. Ayin sham heite begevonis arim beprati bekol laila of laila besof perik zayin mishar sphere sa'omer. So we have that over there, and we'll look at it sometime too. So he says, Heiniki al yedech benafas ha'omer. But so now we're starting to wave the omer, the Sifra, and we're counting Sifra. Shebekol Yom Mem Tes Yemei Sifra. Ana Maschila the Hamshik Aleinu Kedusha Kabbalah Torah. So we're bringing the Kedusha that comes with the Kabbalah of the Torah. Shehu bebechinas Hamshachas HaMochim, which is the same idea as the Hamshacha of the Torah of the Mochim. Shehu Iger bechinas Kabbalah Torah, which is really the main part of Kabbalah Torah, he says, is the Hamshacha of the Mochim. So he said, because what he wants to say, that the Torah is like the big Moacha. I'm not sure what he means, of the source of the Mochim. So the main idea here is, it says, Al Yedei Shebisaknim Bechinas Malchus, by being able to fix Malchus. Shehu Bechinas Nun. Now let's go back to the beginning of Likutei Moharan. Shehu bechinas tzimtzum umida, l'kabel hachbar of hamochim b'chadroga of umida, so that there's a measured amount of shefa that's able to come down. Ki below tikun bechinas umida, because if you can't fix the midos, and I guess he means here specifically that aspect of each one of the spheros. So talk about chesed. So you have 7 different aspects over there you have to deal with in chesed. So all of them start with malchus and pushing malchus into malchus. It's really trying to do. So let's see. Ki below Tikkun Bechinas Amida, if you can't fix that, V'chavat Tzimtzum, Shuhu Bechinas Malchus, and he wants to say, what is that exactly? It is the Malchus. Malchus is the concept of the ultimate, I guess he means Tzimtzum. He after the Kabbalah Sachachba V'chavamochem Machbas Riboy Or. Ki Or HaSeichel Gadol Ma'od, because the Or of the Seichel, and this is the word Seichel is, means intelligence, but I think it means that there's an ultimate mind behind everything. So he says, Kor Aseichel Gadol Ma'od V'hi after the Kablo Ki'im Ayedecha Bechinas Malchus Shecha Bechinas Mida Bechinas Nun. Now, exactly how Nun works, I'm not sure. So, because we understand the 50 gates, so this would be the bottom of the 50, I'm not sure. Kamosha Koset in the Shemesh Yinun Shemo, because this sounds like Lashon Yichud. That in the presence of the Shemesh, which is their Anpin, Yinun Shemo, its name becomes Yinun, or they blend together. Maybe that means that. Kamosha Bavur B'Chater Ranal. So he says, okay, therefore, he says, Srich and the Chavi Omer Sa'orim, so therefore you have to bring this Omer Sa'orim. Why Omer Sa'orim? Shehu Klal called it Tzimtzumim, because Sa'orim, he says, incorporates within it all of the Tzimtzumim. Hainu Sha'al Yedech HaManafis Omer Sa'orim, so by taking this Omer and waving it, this barley Omer, Nistakin called it Tzimtzumim, what you're doing is you're setting up all the tzimtzupim that are coming down the line for Hamidu Shehiba Bechinas Malchus. Kedei Shenuchel Ayidei Zel the Kabel as a Mochen Bechadroga V'Mida. So here you're bringing in Malchus right away. That's the first thing comes in every day or every week, and then you keep pushing it down towards its Malchus. Let's just read this thing again, if I could try to understand a little bit better. He says, Hainu Aisha Yidecha Nafis Omer. So now you're waving the Omer Sa'orim. The Stakim call it Tzimtzumim. This really sets up all of the Tzimtzumim that are going to be needed, and the Hamidos and the different measurements that are going to contract the light, Shehin Bechinas Malchus, which are within each one of them. Like with Chesed, there's a Malchus also. So he says, so that each one of them is going to be dealing with its Malchus. Kedei shenuchel ayidei zera the kabel is a mochin b'chadrog of amidas, that you can get the proper amount. Ki below tikun bechinas amidas, because if the midos are not in the proper functioning properly, midos and tzimtzumi, so the contractions are not working right. After the kabel of mochin, now then it's not possible to receive the mochin. This is the concept of this 50 days. That we have the Sfiras HaOmer, Shehim Tikun Malchus, which was really for the purpose of being Masakein Malchus. Kamavur La'el She'ikra Ha'ara V'Chatikun B'Kol Yom V'Yom Hu B'Bechinas Malchus Kanham. Let me read that again. He said, V'Zera B'Chinas Chamishim Yom, you take 50 days. 15 days of this counting of the Omer, which are a tikkun for Malchus, setting Malchus up in each of the days. Malchus is the Iyar. We're always seeking to match Malchus up. Kamavur la'el she'ika ha'ara v'chatikun b'chol yom hu b'bechinas Malchus kanal. Okay, hem chamishim yamim, so therefore they are 50 days we're talking about. Keneged b'chinas nun, this calls back to the number nun. Nun goes with Malchus. Shuhu bechinas Malchus, bechinas lifnei shemesh yinun Shimon. That's a little phrase, lifnei shemesh, in front of the sun, which is their anpin. Yinun, its name is Malchus. So yinun Shemo. So hainu lifnei shemesh. It says it more out. He said before the sun. Kodesh mekablim amochen v'chaseich v'chachachma shehi bechinas shemesh. So let's say that the flow that's coming through the letter Vav, which is their anpin, it has within it the seichel, the mind. So he's using the word seichel, and I know that it's an important word. So the first thing you have to do is be able to fix the malchus. The first thing is that bechinas nun yinun shemo. make a nun out of its name. Shazechu bechinas nun yom shel sfiras ha'omer. So exactly that metaphor. Let me read it one more time again. He says bechinas of Yinun Shemo, right? And Shem also goes with the concept of Malchus too. Shazechu bechinas nun yom shel sfiras ha'omer. Let's go on. Uchlal Hakavod shel hanafas ha'omer. So if you want to know what we're talking about here in hanafas ha'omer, Sa'omer and Sfira, also the counting, Hulit says Mezuchamas Hatuma, Vatumas Mitzrayim, is in order to get us out of the filth in which we live at that time. But the schus, the Kabbalah Torah, and I guess to make us what's the right word? The schus, let's just say that acquire to be able to get the Torah. Which is really where the ultimate flow is coming from. Now this is an important part for him, that psychologically, I just repeat it again for myself, is to realize that all of the obstacles in our lives and the problems are coming only from Hashem. And that somehow, which we can't necessarily fathom, but we could look at it, is this seichel. There's a seichel that overrides everything, and it's only mitzamsem so that we can have an idea, I think, in order to find our way to the Torah, so that we can find a greater expansion. But he's got some other ideas. Let's go. So he says that you could play, this is the way I understand it. You could take your problems, some serious, and you could offer that to Hashem. And that is an attitude, and that's really Mayan Nukvin. That is the ultimate Mayan Nukvin. Get in touch with your Mayan Nukvin. So he says the Hiskar, by using that seichel, by seeking that seichel, this will draw you into that. Because why is he doing this to me? Let's say we could say like that. He called Masha bara Kodesh Baruch Hu lo bara ela l'kvodo. Now here's another phrase that's really l'kvodo. It's not that he needs the kavod, kedei l'schus l'hakerosa, because the kavod Hashem, if you could get to that where you could see this makes it possible for you to be able to see him or to recognize him, and use that as a mechanism to be able to, what's his word? Everything that's happening into your life, you could serve him through the happenings of your life. But you can't get to that unless you have the Torah. Now the Zohar explains that, what we had in this Rabbi Nachman over here. He says, Ki al yedei ha-Torah, what does the Torah do for you? Machnian malchus ha-Rashor, that pull that is constantly going against us, that's pulling us in the wrong direction. That's, he says, al yedei machnian malchus ha-Rashor shehem bebechilas ksilus, which is the concept of foolishness, of being a fool. Ksilus ruach shtus. A nonsensical ruach that comes to spear, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, is a ruach shtus that doesn't add up to anything. I was thinking of a phrase by Yaakov Cronenberg. He says that if you only have seven spheros, then you're a fool. If all you could see is seven spheros, the end of the whole thing, the process is that we live and die. There's a Gilgul going on here. You're missing it, because it's all where it's coming from. If you don't realize that there's Hashem out there in the world, who is the mind of everything, then you're a fool. So you're living a life of foolishness. You're dreaming your life away. Shtus, Shulum Klal Kol HaTaibat V'Chavimidas Roas, which is the incorporation of all the bad desires that people have, what they want to do. Shehem Ruach Shtus V'Shigoyim Mamash. Ki Ein Adam Over V'Veira Alim Kem Niknas Bo Ruach Shtus. He blocks out he has this ruach shtus. So this, if you want to know, this tremendous foolishness, involvement in the physicality of this world, this lower seven spheros only, we have to get ourselves away from those seven spheros. Kamosha anu oimrim b'sfira gedei l'tahareno miklipuseno mitupuseno. Like that. That's what's going on over here. We're stuck in the middle of all this bad stuff. Now let me see. Should we stop here and go to the Sifra Tzniuta and keep plowing over there? So let me stop this. We'll pick this